Right, here I am. Yeah, I'm on the big boy. Look at this. I'm at the Suffolk Triumph Links motorcycles. Yeah, just had to come and do this because of Stuart's video. Yeah, a good video of Uncle Stu's there. But let's have a look what a big touring bike's like. Yeah. There you go. Turn it on. Oh, steering lock disengaged. Yeah, marvellous. Oh, and we're on. Oh, look at that. A round clock, but not a round clock. Yeah, I'm getting used to seeing these. Very similar to the 1200 RR. Let's get going. Oh, hang on, need to get these mirrors set up. I think that's better. Perfect. So we'll see what this big heavy lump's like. Yeah. Oh, so smooth. Drop curb, the peril of many a rider. No trouble. Yeah, this is about the tallest bike you're gonna get, I think. Oh, look at that. It's so easy. Oh, and that quick shifter. Marvellous. Yeah, so well, when I watched Uncle Stu's video, I thought, well, it's basing it. It looks to me like the BMWs is targeted at those, and at a number of years ago. Well, I can tell you, I had that Tiger 1050, and it was a big heavy lump. It was a big heavy lump. And I thought I wanted to look for something lighter, but I ended up buying a Tiger 900, which you know, you'd think isn't much lighter. It's a similar sort of size, and I was surprised how easy it was to ride. And then I rode the 1200. Do you remember the Tiger 1200? Did a little, had it for a short while, actually, a few days. And I went to work on it, I went shopping on it, I did everything. And I was amazed that this great big bike, which is smaller than this, how easy it was. Yeah, it really surprised me. I haven't got that mirror set up, so I'll just have to do that. Sorry. Ah, there we go. I forgot where I was. Yeah, I just found it so easy, the other 1200, and so I wanted to come out and see this. Like I say, Stuart's based that on history. I don't know if he's ridden any recently, but having said that, I don't totally disagree with him, because I mean, look at the video, look at the Honda Goldwing of TMFs. Yeah, I'll never forget 4 blokes trying to help him get it out of that garage. Yeah, it's that's ludicrous. If your bike needs a reverse, you're screwed, aren't you? But anyway, let's get back to this bike, because it is fairly different to the other 1200 in pure size alone. It's got a 30 litre tank. Yeah, a 30 litre tank. I mean, that's going to hurt your wallet, and I shouldn't imagine it's going to do about 50 to the gallon, I would imagine, and as Stuart says, about the same as a car. In fact, worse than some cars, in fact worse than a lot of cars. But then that's not why I ride motorbikes. It's not for economic reasons, it's because I like riding motorbikes. And again, on his video, he talks about the fact that you know, you can do it all on a 250, like that daughter of his mates. Yeah, and in fact, Stu, my mate Stu with the motor gusty, he sent us that picture of his Z250 from the 80s. Yeah, where he'd gone touring, they were in Jersey or somewhere like that, and that's what we used to do. Yeah, we didn't care, 125s, 250s, anything. Yeah. But again, it's not about that. They're all capable of that, and we are a bit stuck. Bikes are about a feeling, and having more power is always thought of as more fun, isn't it? Even if you don't drive quickly. I'm not driving this quickly at all. I'm accelerating very slowly, and I've got to say, it's an absolute pleasure, and it is so easy and so well balanced. And yes, I'm on the open roads, but I'm heading for the Suffolk Road and the bumpy roads. And one of the things that smaller bikes don't have, they don't put all these gadgets on, because they'd make them disproportionately expensive. Yeah, they would. These are about 15 to 18,000, I think, something like that, say 18,500. I don't know. I'll check when I go back. But you couldn't put all these gubbins on a small bike, because the engine wouldn't cope with the electronics, and it would become heavier anyway just from having them. And yes, we can manage without, but I tell you what, it's nice to have them. It's nice to have the electronically adjustable brakes and suspension, and this bike, you might see, I'll wait to see if it comes on. It might pick it up now. It's got a sensor for your blind spot. Yeah, there you go. Did you see it? Can you see that orange light on? That's my blind spot. It's telling me there's something there. Don't pull out. That's marvellous, isn't it? We've got those on the cars. It's the first time I've seen it on motorbike. Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to the bike. So the A14, no trouble at all. Doesn't budge. That's what I like as well about a bigger bike. They don't budge in the wind. When you ride a bike all year round, you've got to think of the terrible weather you're going to be in, as well as the lovely weather. I mean, I don't know where I'd start with all the gadgets on this either. Handling, absolutely fine. Feels as light as a feather. I know it's a big heavy lump, but honestly, it feels as light as a feather. So down here, this is what I call the washboard road. Yeah, it's been a while since we've been over here, isn't it? But further down, I mean, this is bumpy enough, but further down, it gets really bad. So I want to see how it copes with that, because a lot of the smaller bikes, they don't cope that well with it. And I know you can adjust the suspension and change the suspension, but when you're going on a long ride, you don't want to be stopping every 5 minutes to do that, do you? So, you won't go crazy. We're in the worst spot, and it's absolutely fine. It rides those bumps exceptionally well. Normally you can hear a little bit of vibration in my voice. Yeah, I can feel it underneath. I can feel the suspension working like billio, but it's very mild and it is very soft, and it certainly isn't knocking the wind out of me like it usually does. No, this is marvellous, and it's shaft drive. Yeah, of course. I would have loved shaft drive on Biggles, the 900. Brakes, just absolutely marvellous. I got criticised for saying that the brakes on the Suzuki GSX were sublime. Well, what I'd say to that is they were at normal speeds. They are sublime. If you get brakes that are too good, you end up in more danger. You do, you end up in more trouble. even with ABS, because your ABS will run out, like your traction control will run out. So people don't think about that. There's a, you know, we live in a society that are driving around in cars, for example, that makes them feel like they're a better driver than they actually are. Yeah, that's my view anyway. But let's have a look at it. It's big. I'm flat footing on it. It's at its tallest height. But just for Dave, this is 6'2", with a 34-inch inside leg. Yeah, and I know that makes you angry, Dave, but I'm sorry about that. I'm not going to shrink my legs just for you. You could always put some high-heeled boots on or something. Yeah. I'm only joshing with you. You know that. So yeah. So how do you know? Dead easy to ride. Dead easy. I'm stood here. It's not going to fall over if it slips. It doesn't feel particularly heavy, I've got to say. It feels very manageable. A quick slip, you're not going to have a problem with it, I don't think. Of course, I'm not on gravel or anything like that, but do you know what? I have a gravel driveway and it goes right up to the garage, and I have moaned about it to Mrs. Tame, but we're not going to do anything about it, because sometimes you give a little slip with any of the bikes, even Bertie, even little Bertie, when I'm manoeuvring him out, yeah, you give a little slip and the bike goes, it's a jolt. And I don't think it's about the weight per se. You know, it could be twice the weight and it won't make any difference. If it's going to go over, it's going to go over. It catches you. If you've got no grip, it doesn't take a lot to push something over. Otherwise, tugs would never be able to push those big boats over around, would they? No. Anyway, we're off. Oh, and it's so easy. I can't, you know. This is what I found with the other 1200 when I had it in and out of town and at work in the tiny little car park manoeuvring. No trouble at all. The handlebars, not much wider than any other bike I ride, really. And what I do know is, from when putting the luggage on Biggles, is they say that the luggage is no wider than the handlebars. So yeah, so there you go. I know Stuart said about filtering and stuff. It does make me more nervous on Biggles, I've got to say, but I'm getting more and more used to it. And what else I find is, when I've got, we're onto the Suffolk Road, sorry, missed that sign there. Yeah, small people, big people, horses, cars, bicycles, yeah, bumpy as hell, slippy as hell, mud and all sorts of stuff, horse poo, yeah, as evidence of the horses, and really, really bouncy, potholes and all sorts of things, blind corners, slippery roads, and this just eats it up. It's absolutely fine, no trouble at all, no different to any other bike, in fact better than most, I would say. But down here I'm going to stop. Yeah, this is where I'm going to stop and just do a little walk around. So I'll just pull in here like that and we'll have a little look at it. Caught me out, I was going a bit quick, need to get it into neutral. So stopping procedure, dump, and it's off. Of course, keyless ignition, side stand down, over it goes, and I'm off, as simple as that. Look at that marvellous view, people out sailing, even though it's late in the season. So there we go, there it is. Right, I'll change cameras then. Marvellous. Right, here we are, Triumph Tiger 1200 Explorer. Yeah, well, it's crash bars on and everything. Don't know if they're standard, possibly are, being the Explorer. Big belly pan, look, to help keep it clean, that's nice. Big triple engine, spoked wheels, Brembo brakes, course that lovely front end on it. That's massive, isn't it? Big tall thing, and so wide. Yeah, oh, it looks wide. Like I said, by the time you put bags on it, it's not going to be much wider. Seat is heated seat, electronic suspension, brakes, switchable ABS and stuff. And this thing here, that's the sensor for the blind spot. Yeah, sends out signals, lets you know if there's anything before you pull out. Marvellous. Teeny weeny little indicators, they're marvellous. Shaft drive, ah, that's marvellous, isn't it? Got no chain maintenance. Yeah, I mean, it just 30 litre tank. What's that going to cost you to fill up? Yeah, let's call it £2 a litre for ease. Yeah, marvellous. Mirrors, well, we'll get onto those. They're sort of Mickey Mouse mirrors. Big screen, adjustable height on the, yeah, just like that, just push and pull. Marvellous. But again, disappointingly, look at these. Hydraulic clutch, hydraulic brake, plastic. Unbelievable. I don't know why that is. There's got to be a reason for it. I can't believe that they'd skimp on those. I just can't. And like I say here, these little orange lights glow when something's about to wipe you out if you pull out. Yeah, marvellous. What do you think? I think it's splendiferous, of course. I've got Biggles, and Biggles is a smaller sibling, isn't it? Yeah, marvellous. So we'll get back on the road and do the senses. So, back on board. There you go, steering lock disengaged. Fuel pumps on. And we're off. And I tell you what, it's light as a feather to get off the side stand. I've ridden smaller bikes that aren't, and then we're off onto the bumpy and twisty Suffolk Road, and of course the senses test. Yeah, so taste, you know that I'm not tasting it. Then what we've got, taste to look at, is well, it's an adventure bike, isn't it? And lots of people don't like the look, but I think it looks rough and tough, and I quite like it. As far as adventure bikes go, it's a handsome beast. Yeah, and I know my mate called his Lurch. Yeah, I know, marvellous. But there you go. So I'm not going to argue about that because it's such a personal thing. They're not beautiful like the classic bikes, are they? At all. It smells wonderful. Yeah, it's a new motorbike. No leaks, doesn't smell of petrol, doesn't smell of oil, just smells of hot metal and plastic. Yeah, so touch, there's lots of plastic on it, yeah, there's lots of metal, but everything on it feels solid and good quality. The only thing that doesn't look good quality are these the clutch and brake reservoir, and I don't know why they do that. I'm sure, well, there's got to be a reason, but I don't know it. So, well, the sound, well, it's a big 1200 triple engine pumping away underneath you. Exhaust's fairly quiet, but it's a nice sound. and that's all I can say about the sound, really. Yeah, and we've got little squirrel, suicide. So Mickey Mouse mirror, well, Bugs Bunny ears flattened in the middle where he's been hit with maybe an anvil or something like that. Yeah, that's what I would say. A square clock, but a round clock. Yeah, not for the speedo. Speedo's in numbers, rev counter on the round dial. Yeah, electrics coming out of your ears, just like Biggles. Yeah, and the other 1200. This has got more than Biggles. Yeah, you do everything with it. But of course that means there's possibly more to go wrong. I don't know, but compared to small bikes, yeah, we're stuck. We've been doing on 70 miles an hour and 60 miles an hour and 50 miles an hour and now 30 mile an hour speed limit. But this road is seriously bumpy, and I have no problem at all to see those kids waving. They wanted me to stop and let them have a go. It's distracted me. Yeah, no, absolutely fine. It feels as light as a feather. Yes, if I dropped it, I might struggle to pick it up, but I think if you drop a bike, a lot of the time it's the least of your worries, isn't it? Yeah. Manoeuvring it about, I don't seem to have had any trouble at all. No. So I can't criticise it for that. Yes, I haven't been on a gravel drive. I've been on loose dirt and a bit of mud. But I've had no trouble. None at all. I've been on slippery roads, bumpy roads. And it's nice to have a bit of acceleration to get up to traffic speed. I know Uncle Stu said about the argument about having power to get yourself out of trouble. Sometimes other people put you in trouble, and it's handy to get speed to get out of that. Yeah, it is. So I know exactly what he means. So that's that. So anyway, on to the Sixth Sense. How does this bike make me feel? It makes me feel very good. It does. It makes me feel marvellous. And yes, I could possibly do this on a Himalayan, but it wouldn't feel the same as this. There might be more satisfaction in the Himalayan, I don't know. But if I had Mrs. Tame on the back, and I was going on a long journey, I would feel very safe and secure. And dealing with it when I get wherever I'm going, whether it be gravel or mud. This is the Explorer. It's built to go off-road. Yeah, and I'm sure with time you'd learn to manage it. It's not that heavy, it's well designed, it's well balanced. I'm just going to pull in here, let that car go. Yeah. Oh, look at this coming up that I've been warned about. Yeah, marvellous. Porsche. Yeah, nice. I'm guessing they're called Shaw, looking at the number plate. But anyway, back to the bike. So it makes me feel wonderful. And what I'm pleased about with Stuart's video is he's got back on song, hasn't he? He's the last couple of videos, they've been relevant to me. Of course all the others might have been relevant to you, but so yeah, I'm pleased about that. I agree with a lot of what he said and the sentiment of it, but I think before he did that video, he ought to have gone out and tried some new ones. I've never tried a BMW 1250 GS. The only BMW I've ridden was that 800 of Orwell. Yeah, so I can't say no more than that really. On Stuart's video, on this bike I can say it's marvellous, it's comfortable, it's easy to ride, it's easy to handle, it's easy to move about. Yeah, so there you go. So now I'll just enjoy this last couple of miles back to Suffolk Triumph here in Ipswich, in this 50 mile an hour that we seem to be only doing 38 miles an hour. And that's the story of our life, isn't it? It doesn't matter what bike we've got. But there are plenty of roads where you could let this motorcycle stretch its legs. Yeah, there are. Oh, that is it's a lovely sound, isn't it, from that triple engine. And to ride, you'd never know it was a 1200 from the handling and weight size, you just wouldn't. So a big thumbs up to Triumph for producing this. Something that I did notice when they launched this at Suffolk Triumph, it was almost like walking into a BMW showroom, because they sold about 6 or 7 to BMW owners, and they were stuck with all their BMWs on the forecourt. And in fact, they've still got a lot of them on their forecourt because people still keep coming back and buying this instead. And now I've got to try the BMW GS 1250 just for the experience, I think, and maybe to understand why, one, they're so popular, and two, why people were swapping them for this. It might be that they are much heavier motorbikes, I don't know. But yeah, there you go. All the switchgear and everything's just marvellous. Oh, look at these dogs. Yeah, oh, they're marvellous, aren't they? There we go. Oh, there's a new one probably for collection, I don't know. But there you go. Let's have a little look, because for once, what have I got to say? Yay! It's got a centre stand. Look, marvellous. Excellent. Thank you, Triumph. There you go. Ta-ta.